Imagine discovering that the most dangerous secrets are not hidden in distant places, but inside the very walls where you sleep every night. Welcome to today's unbelievable story titled Dentro da Minha Própria Casa. And before we begin, I want to ask you, if this story chills your soul and makes you think twice before turning off the lights tonight, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and stay with us until the very end. Because what you are about to hear is not just suspense, it's a journey through fear, betrayal, miracles, and the mysteries of the human heart. It all began on an ordinary rainy night when Mariana, a quiet woman in her late 30s, returned to the old family house she had inherited from her grandmother, a sprawling, creaking colonial mansion standing at the edge of a forgotten street in Porto Alegre. Though everyone in her neighborhood whispered that strange things happened there, she never believed it, because for her, home was supposed to be safety. But she was wrong. That night, as thunder rolled across the sky, she noticed something unusual. A faint shadow slipping across the hallway mirror, though no one was behind her. And when she turned, the lights flickered as if the house itself was breathing. She laughed nervously, telling herself it was only the storm. Yet inside her chest, her heart pounded with an anxiety she couldn't name. Hours later, as she prepared to sleep in her childhood bedroom, a soft knock echoed at her door. Not once, but 3 slow taps, deliberate and cold, and when she opened the door, no one was there. Instead, a folded piece of paper lay on the floor with shaky handwriting that read, Você, esta, sozinha. You are not alone. Her blood turned cold, her body froze, because she lived completely alone and had locked every door herself. Panic rose inside her, but she forced herself to stay calm, convincing her mind that perhaps it was just some cruel prank. But when she checked the locks, they were untouched from the inside. There was no way anyone could have come in or out, and yet the note existed in her trembling hands. That night, Mariana barely slept, and at dawn she found muddy footprints leading from the back door to the cellar, though she hadn't stepped outside. Following them against her better judgment, she descended into the cellar, and the smell of damp earth and rust filled her lungs, until she noticed something impossible, an old wooden chest that she had never seen before, as if it had been hidden there for decades. With shaking fingers, she opened it, and inside she discovered not gold, not family heirlooms, but photographs of herself sleeping in her bed, recent ones from angles only someone inside the house could have taken. Tears of terror rolled down her face as realization struck. Someone had been living inside her own home, watching her every move, and she hadn't even known. Her mind spiraled. Was it a stalker? A ghost? A relative? She needed answers, so she rushed to the police, but they dismissed her claims as paranoia, saying maybe she herself had staged the photos in a state of confusion for lack of proof. But Mariana knew her fear was real, so she decided to investigate alone. In the nights that followed, she set up hidden cameras, staying awake until exhaustion claimed her. And then the footage revealed what words could barely explain. A tall, gaunt figure emerging silently from behind the old wardrobe in the hallway, crawling out as if the wall itself had opened, standing over her bed for hours, simply watching her breathe before vanishing back into the dark cracks of the house. Every hair on her body stood as she realized her nightmare was alive. Gathering courage, she tore apart the wardrobe and discovered a hidden sliding panel leading to a narrow passage in the walls. With only a flashlight, she crawled inside, heart hammering, and what she found shattered her soul. Tiny rooms carved between the walls, filled with journals, candles, and drawings of her face at every age, from childhood to now, as though someone had lived their entire life observing her. On a dusty mattress lay a withered blanket that belonged to her late grandmother, and beneath it, a diary whose words made her drop the light. You sempre cuidei de você, sempre estive aqui. I always took care of you. I was always here. But the writing was unmistakably her grandmother's, who had died 10 years ago. Yet the ink looked fresh, as if written yesterday. Shock, disbelief, and grief tangled inside her, but before she could process, she heard footsteps crawling closer through the passage, heavy breathing echoing behind her. And when she turned, she saw a man, unkempt, hollow-eyed, yet strangely familiar. His face carried features of her late uncle, a relative who had supposedly vanished decades earlier. He whispered her name trembling. Mariana, I never left. I couldn't leave you unprotected. The house chose me, and now it wants you. His voice cracked between madness and love, and before she could respond, he lunged toward her. Not with violence, but with desperation, clutching her arms as if begging her to stay in the hidden world with him. Terrified, she screamed and escaped into the open air, leaving him howling in the walls like a trapped spirit. Days later, she tried to sell the house, but no buyer lasted more than an hour inside, each claiming they heard whispers, felt cold touches, or saw shadows moving. Finally, a historian approached her, explaining that the mansion had been built on ancient land where families once performed rituals to bind bloodlines to the house itself, demanding that descendants remain forever or their souls would be consumed. Suddenly, the pieces fit. Her grandmother's warnings, her uncle's disappearance, the unseen hands that left her notes. This was not just a stalker, not just madness, but a curse. And yet, amid fear, something miraculous happened. One night, as she prayed desperately, she felt her grandmother's presence, warm and protective, whispering in her ear, "Break the chain, Minha Filha. Love is stronger than walls." The next morning, she burned every relic hidden inside the secret rooms, from the journals to the photographs, crying as if releasing generations of pain. And as the flames rose, the walls of the house groaned, shaking as if alive, until a blinding light burst through the cracks. She fainted in terror, but when she awoke, the hidden passages were gone, sealed as if they had never existed, and the air inside the mansion was warm, peaceful, and new. Her uncle was never seen again, but neighbors swore they saw a tall man walking into the sunrise that morning, free at last. From that day on, Mariana understood. Her greatest prison had been dentro da sua propria casa, but by facing the darkness, she had found the miracle release of love stronger than curses, and her home finally became hers again. So, dear viewers, if this story made your heart race, if it made you feel the cold breath of mystery lingering on your neck, don't forget to subscribe right now, because more shocking, emotional, and unforgettable stories are waiting for you. And remember, sometimes the scariest monsters are not outside, but within the walls we call home.